Welcome in. Coming up on today's program, why financial planning matters and where to find it. Plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Now we're going to talk about why financial planning is important. And it's the planning as much as the financial, and even more is the personal financial planning. You know, I hear folks say, how can you plan with no money? Or as a very good friend of mine said, she wanted to retitle this channel. She says, I'd like a channel that's called What's Next with No Money. Well, we can still learn even a lot if you're just starting. Focusing on the planning and the personal side, the financial and the money aspect will come. I've lived this experience. So my question to you in the comments section, what is your advice or experience with financial planning, and how do you think it might help you, or how has it? You're watching What's Next with Money, a program with smart insights to guide your financial decisions. Let's get started. Dwight Eisenhower, Ike, General and President, said, I always remember the observation of a very successful soldier who said, peacetime plans are of no particular value, but peacetime planning is indispensable. Plans are worthless, but planning is everything. And consider this basic. If you're planning for an emergency, you must start with one thing in your mind. The very definition of emergency means that it's unexpected in terms of timing and scale and scope. Therefore, it's not going to happen the way you're planning. But the details of a plan which was designed years in advance, they may be often correct, but the planning process demands the thorough exploration of options and contingencies, preparedness, alternatives, and understanding the playing field you're on. The knowledge gained during planning is crucial to what actions we take as future events unfold. And back to Ike. No plan survives first contact with the enemy. Professional boxer Mike Tyson said it more clearly. Everybody's got plans until they get hit for the first time. Now we're talking about why financial planning matters and where to find it. Financial planning is a time to think big picture about what you want in your future, what you want it to look like, and establish the financial goals to help you get there. Part of the planning is targeting goals or problems to overcome fears and hopes. You can write these down and discuss with your loved ones and realize we may not be ready for the unexpected because we're not engaged in planning. We at What's Next with Money frame issues of money and planning in our YouTube playlist. Get financially organized, the future of money, money in your life, closing wealth gaps, your money actions, wealth building, investing for ownership, climate, disasters, and personal finance preparation and recovery, Social Security, and retirement. Now, all of these playlist topics include many videos, and they all include the process of planning. Planning allows for contingencies, breathing room to fight and live another day. And that's really from the psychology of money. They talk about this book by Morgan Housel, the margin of safety. That raises the odds of success by increasing your chances of survival. We're talking financial survival. And examples of this are a frugal budget, flexible thinking, and even a loose timeline. So the higher your margin of safety, the smaller the edge you need to have a favorable outcome. You're not depending everything on investments. You've got a margin of safety, you've got savings, and you've gone through planning. And you've got to plan on a plan not going according to plan. There are future unknowns, so we stick with principles to help us govern and guide our behaviors and reactions. We need to have a mindset of short-term paranoia to exploit long-term optimism. So if you're getting value from this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and hit that like button. It moves our content to more folks. Now, where to find a financial planner or advisor that has the credentials to help you. In every one of our videos, we always list sources of financial planners and financial counselors, the CFP professionals. at letsmakeaplan.org. We have links in every one. Plus, for financial counseling, the Accredited Financial Counselor program. Debt, credit, budgeting, spending, and savings at findandafc.org. We have links all the time for these. So we're talking about how to select a financial planning professional right now. And this is advice from the CFP Board of Standards. And let me give you an ethical disclaimer. I have served on advisory boards and committees for this standard setting body. I am a CFP certificate in good standing, but I don't practice, so I don't take clients. I do YouTube, and I'm an independent investor and small business owner. So with your spouse, I always recommend, and the CFP board does, do at least 3 interviews. And to make them really work, to get the mileage out of them, make a before interview a pre-list of questions, and then a post-meeting analysis of how the interview went. Then readjust your questions. Look at your notes. What have you learned? I have learned so much by interviewing CFP and accredited financial counselor professionals throughout the country. I have many friends in this field and some of the legendary great practitioners in both areas. But you want to adjust your questions after the first interview. Some CFP professionals may focus their practice in a certain area, like insurance planning, investment management. But others, so that's topics. Others have expertise dealing with certain kinds of client situations, such as military families or families with special needs children. And then there's a difference between financial advice and financial planning. Financial advice is when you've got a particular issue that's arisen. You don't want a long-term, ongoing relationship with a CFP professional or an AFC, but they can help you decide, work through a decision. Here's some examples. Like reviewing an investment portfolio asset allocation, handling an inheritance, the decision to roll over a retirement plan to a self-directed IRA, building education savings, or dealing with consumer debt. Now, financial planning, a CFP professional will take a more comprehensive view of your financial and personal circumstances and work out a plan and an ongoing advice customized to your needs. It's a long-term relationship. So here are 10 questions to ask as you go on your search and look for a CFP professional, and these apply to the AFC community as well. Number 1, what are your qualifications and credentials? What special degrees, designations do you hold, and what do those mean? Number 2, what services do you offer? Number 3, will you have, as an advisor or planner, have a fiduciary duty to me? Are you going to act in my best interest ahead of their own? And if you got conflicts, those have got to be disclosed in writing. Number 4, what's your approach to financial planning or financial counseling? Do they do a comprehensive plan? Do they do kind of a la carte? Just what's the nature of the relationship and the work and the specialties they have? Number 5, what types of clients do you typically work with? And if you have special situations in your household, try to find or even get referrals to advisor professionals, planning professionals that can help you with your unique family or client situation. Number 6, will you be the only advisor working with me? A lot of large practices have young professionals, some certified or accredited, but they may be new out of college. Others work in a team approach. There may be specialists like CPAs or even attorneys within the practice that you might work with. So you want to find out who you're working with internally, but then the advisor or planner may refer you outside to relationships they have, or you may have your own outside advisors like attorneys. Number 7, how will I pay for your services? Now this gets into forms of compensation. All have to be disclosed in writing. There can be a fee arrangement or fee only. Often this is tethered to a percentage of assets under management. Commission, which is basically a sales commission. This is much more rare now in this day and age. Fee and commission, kind of a combination. And an emerging area of compensation is an hourly fee or a la carte, or a set of hours or a retainer. You might even think of this as a subscription fee. Number 8, how much do you typically charge? This gives you a range of the pricing, and it may dictate the kind of compensation arrangement that you ultimately want with the advisor. Number 9, do others stand to gain from the advice you give me? What are some of the affiliations or overlapping business interests of the firm? Again, these are conflicts of interest that must be disclosed in writing. And it's up to you to decide, based on a fiduciary acting in my best interest relationships, if these conflicts are acceptable to you. You can always say no, or that's why we interview more than one. And a lot of the disclosure, especially for registered investment advisors, which most CFP professionals are, have to be disclosed in a written format, part of the code of ethics. But the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, requires some type of disclosure brochure based on Form ADV. And you might want to write that down, ADV, and make sure you get that. And if you're not getting these things in writing, that's a red flag. Number 10, have you ever been publicly disciplined for any unlawful or unethical actions in your career? Now, we're going to have 3 links to help you vet advisors and financial planners. FINRA's BrokerCheck, we're going to have a place you can link to that. And then the SEC Investment Advisor Public Disclosure Database. And the CFP Board of Standards has their own Verify tool that you can use as well. Again, every time I've interviewed a CFP professional or an Accredited Financial Counselor, AFC, I've learned something. And I, as a CFP professional myself, have a CFP certificate I have a retainer relationship with who gives me a second opinion. And remember, even doctors should not do their own surgery. So be sure to hit that subscribe and that like button, and don't forget to share. And remember, new episodes of What's Next with Money are posted on Thursdays.